Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. We haven't really had a chance to talk to you much about just your philosophy on calling games, you know, the field versus up top. And I know some of the players were talking this last game that they were like, God, he didn't even stay on like the call sheet. He just kind of did it in the moment. So can you just talk about how you'll be calling plays here and just your general approach?
Well, I've pretty much always been on the sideline anyway. And, you know, when there's adjustments that need to be made or things like that, I like to be able to talk to the players as opposed to calling down and they're on a headset. I can show them exactly, you know, what I'm talking about on the iPads, or, you know, get a whiteboard and do those things. You know, I heard about not calling, you know, not using the play sheet, but I didn't have many bullets on it anyway. So, but I'll have a play sheet. I had one there. I don't know where it got misconstrued, but I just didn't have many bullets in it.
Clarence Hill, Forward Telegram. Just talk about what you saw from the game. Certainly, your impressions of what Mozzie did and how Overshawn did and some of the other guys.
Yeah, Overshawn played really well. He made one really good play, and they bounced the ball out to the perimeter, and he made the tackle early in the ball game. You know, I still think he's adjusting to just getting the knowledge of everything, and that's why we're taking it slow with him. We're taking it slow with Damone. But yeah, he played really good. And Mozzie, you know, initially he knocked the center back several times, made some tackles, came off of blocks. There was a lot of things that he did that was good.
Mike Toddarch with ESPN. With Jordan Lewis, you played against him a few times, and now to be around him, what have you learned about him?
Yeah, he's really good. He's smart. He's tough. You know, he thinks he's a lot bigger than what he is. I always tease him. I said, I'm gonna get big guys in there. He said, no, coach, let me in there. Let me get in there with all the big guys. So, but he's got good quickness, really good understanding of the game. You know, we put a lot on the plate of the nickel, and so he's handled it really well. So I've been really impressed with him.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. You made a trade and got another corner, and Booth, what did you like about him?
I just, you know, we had a high grade on him coming out. You know, it's an opportunity to take a look at another guy. Good speed, long, good length. You know, so, you know, a lot of times it's just a different atmosphere, or different system, something like that. So hopefully he does well.
Talk about Kason in camp. How did he look in the game too?
Yeah, I think he looked pretty good. You know, I didn't think it was too big for him. He came out there, and you know, we had a few different calls. So, but he's had a nice camp, and I thought he did good during the game.
John Machota with The Athletic. Some of the offensive players on the team have talked about how your disguises stand out to them in practice, the way you disguise the defense. How do you balance with your defense, you know, disguising, but then also keeping it so that it's not possibly confusing, you know, your own players?
Right. Well, the first thing is I never, you know, like when we come out the first maybe week or 10 days in OTAs, I never let them disguise. I want to know that, okay, here's where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to get to. And then once I start feeling comfortable about where I think that they're going to, you know, they understand where they're going to be, then I'll start a little bit with some of the things. And, you know, we're just trying to get the offense to have to make some post-snap decisions. You know, get protections turned the way we want, get you know, make the quarterback hold the ball just a little bit longer if we can, make, you know, when the receivers are coming to block, they're not sure if they're blocking the safety or the corner, whatever that may be.
Saudis, The Athletic. Mike, you've been in the league a long time, and, you know, just over time you've seen the game change a lot. I'm curious, with now a lot of teams playing nickel defenses and stuff, how have you seen the role of linebackers change and what you're asking them to do and what they need to be doing?
Well, yeah, you know, when Parcells was here, you know, he wanted big linebackers, but eventually he had to understand that these guys have to cover in space now because the game is so spread out. And, you know, that's kind of, you know, we want to try to keep two linebackers in the game at all times if we possibly can, sometimes three. But the biggest difference is understanding zone concepts, man pass offs, all the different things in coverage. And honestly, the Mike linebacker has a lot to do because, he might be in a zone and he's passing one guy to another and he's got to know what's on the other side. Kendricks has done outstanding with that. He always has. And so it's nice to have that in it. But they got to cover. They got to cover guys out of the backfield. Sometimes you get mismatches. You got a receiver in the backfield and you're in a zone defense and, he's running some kind of option route on you or something like that. So, it still goes back to if you can't run, you can't play.
Babe Lofberg, Cowboys Radio Network. I know in the grand scheme of things, the game didn't mean anything, but the third down and fourth down plays where the Rams had it at the end of the game, was there a part of you that was ready to dial up the blitz there and come after it?
Yeah, definitely. I might have called it today when we did it, but I didn't have that. I didn't have the particular blitz I wanted to run in the game plan. So, I'm trying to let these guys just play. We were going to call timeout on the fourth down play. Mike, we're going to take a look and see what the formation was. I saw the formation. I said, I think we're good. And the quarterback got out of the pocket, and we covered him initially. He got out of the pocket, and you can't let him do that down there.
Mike, with Leofau, where can he help you the most his first year? What have you seen from out here to know he can help you out?
I think he can play linebacker for us. We've got a good set of linebackers. I really feel that, with those 4 or 5 guys. And then, Nick Vigil has played for me before, so he's coming in and he was always a good player, understands the system. But these guys might be a little bit more role-based so that, they're not doing 2 jobs all the time. One's playing base, one's playing the 42, one's playing the nickel. So, we might be a little bit, instead of having 2 guys out there all the time, they may be Kendricks and one, Kendricks and another, maybe Kendricks and another. So we'll just see how it goes. But Kendricks will probably be out there.
Embarrassed a little bit, I guess, dude. Like,
yeah.
Is he a guy that you like his ability in coverage? You like his ability to? Can he get up there?
Well, I think he's a thumper, but he understands coverage pretty well. I think there's some pressure things that we can do with him as well. So, but he played good the other day, but he's played better in practice. So, it's just first. Some of these guys, the first time out, they revert back just a little bit, but he'll play good this week.
Zim, also that you've had about 10 days or so here to kind of work through your rotation in the line since Sam Williams went down. Are you a little closer to having a feel for how that's going to unfold, or is it still pretty much to be determined what you're going to do?
I think it's still to be determined. We still got a lot of work to do. We're looking at a lot of different guys and moving guys in different spots, trying to figure out where the best the best group would be. So it's not settled by any stretch.
Did you move some guys to some spots you necessarily didn't envision coming into camp because of his loss?
Well, we're trying to play Golston a little bit more at the end. For Hoko, we had him inside, but that's probably not the spot for him, so we're going to move him back outside and take a good look for him out there. Mozzie's done a good job in there. We got to find some more noses, obviously, see how these young guys do. So we'll just kind of go from there.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Marquise Bell's been a guy that's worn a lot of hats for Dallas Cowboys.
Who was it? One more time?
Marquise Bell.
Yeah, okay.
He's a guy that's worn a lot of hats for this defense in the couple of years he's been here. Great performance on Sunday. What's kind of your evaluation of how he can help your defense?
Yeah, I thought he's done really well. He's picked up the system good. He understands the coverages and the checks and pressures and things like that. He does a good job with his disguises. And in the game, because I haven't seen any of these guys tackle really live or anything, but, we were watching the film. I said, this guy's pretty good around the line of scrimmage. So, I think part of that had to do for him playing linebacker last year.
And to follow up on Golston, what part of his game do you feel like is better for that outside spot for him? Well,
I just think the strength on tight ends is the size and strength, and these tight ends trying to cut us off. And, if he does get hang protection, he's got that. And then, we're going to look at him inside in some pass rush situations as well.
Mike, obviously, Eric Kendricks will have the green dot, but in the past, the second guy has been Malik Hooker back here in the safety position. Do you prefer, outside of Kendricks, the guy to be a linebacker, safety? How do you look at that?
Yeah, we've got 5 of them in camp right now that are all doing it, practicing it, and so it should be fine.
Is that something you like your linebackers, or are you okay with?
I'd rather have linebackers do it. You know, they got to talk to both front and back, and sometimes the guys in the back have a harder time getting to the front.
With Marshawn Nealon said there's some who think that it takes a few years for defensive linemen to really get acclimated to the pro level. Where do you see him at? And I guess more philosophically, how do you view the development time it takes for defensive linemen?
You know, it depends on the player a lot. You know, Marshawn's been great in camp. He's working real hard on some of the pass rush stuff because I don't think he was as efficient at doing that. But he's been great against the run. Greg Ellis has been working with him. You know, it's kind of, we're talking about talking to Greg, who ended up having 84.5. He keeps reminding me 84.5 sacks. But, you know, his first year, he was kind of like Marshawn. You know, good run player, very conservative. Now, Marshawn isn't conservative. He's gonna go. But Greg never wanted to make a mistake. And so he got with someone that taught him how to use his hands and, you know, speed to power and side scissors and the stab and all those things. And so Greg's been working with Marshawn. And the other day when we went against the Rams, the first pass rush, he side scissored the guy and he had this big smile on his face, you know. So, you know, I think he's a worker, and I think he's going to continue to work just like that with those guys. But Greg's going to help him.
Jim, can you talk about the relationship that you see in Carson? I'm sorry, Arnold Payne, WFAA. The relationship that Parsons and Diggs have established, they just seem to be really gelling together.
Yeah, they really are. Micah and Trayvon, they're kind of like 2 young kids all the time. They're always giving each other a hard time, teasing each other. You know, Trayvon's been coming into meetings in the morning with Micah now, and Donovan has also been coming in there. So, but they have a good time. They challenge each other a lot, and then I can challenge one, and then he'll challenge the other one, and so, you know, it's a good deal. Good. Thank you.